I love her.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, Shruti.
Are we live? No, not yet. Okay, yes.
You can see the live sign there.
All right.
You are born.
Namaste, Vanakkam, and welcome everyone to the day 3 of the Navratri celebrations. We are all happy to be streaming live and coming up with new stories, meditations about the Devi. So welcome for the evening, for the next 1 hour. I'll have Preeta tell us the story. We'll do the chanting, and then post that we'll have the discussion. While we are playing the chants, do remember to meditate with your eyes closed. Take every opportunity to be with yourself and blossom during these 9 days. So over to you, Preeta.
So today the story is about Devi Chandraghanta, the moon, the mind, and the bell. On the 3rd day of Navratri, the Divine Mother is worshipped in the form of Chandraghanta. This form of Devi is depicted wearing a bell-like ornament in the shape of a moon. The moon is connected to the mind, and Ghanta or the bell is an instrument connected with alertness. The ringing of the bell brings the mind to the present moment, from the sound to the silence, silence to sound, sound to silence. As the mind oscillates with the ringing of the bell, it eventually dissolves and comes to a standstill. Just as moon waxes and wanes, the mind also wavers. When the scattered fragments of the mind, the consciousness, consolidate and come together, the mind becomes single pointed and the energy rises. The mind is in our control with alertness. When the quality of alertness and steadfastness rises, mind is like an adornment. A beautifully focused mind is an adornment. So beautiful. Gurudev says, do not run away from the mind, for the mind is also form and manifestation of the Mother Divine. While she is present in us as peace, compassion, and other virtues, she is also present as sorrow, misery, hunger, and so on. The essence here is to take everything together, whether harmonious or unpleasant, as a collective whole, bringing all the thoughts, emotions, and sounds as one naad or the sound, like the sound of a bell or a large gong makes. This is the meaning behind Devi's name, Chandraghanta.
So we are going to hear the chant of Saundarya Lahari today. And it's a very deep, chanting and hymn. It's a poetic rhythm that you will listen for the next 37 minutes. So don't get restless. Be there chanting if you know the chants and meditating if you don't know the chants. Yeah. So Shravanam is also a part of meditation.
Shuklam Bharadharam Vishnu Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasanna Dhyayet Sarva Vighnopashantaye. शिवकशक्त्या युक्तो यदि भवति शक्तः प्रभवितुं यच्चेदेवं देवो न खलु कुशलः स्पन्दितुमपि अतस्त्वामाराध्य हरिकरविरिञ्चादिभिरपि प्रणन्तुं स्तोतुं वा कथमकृतपुण्यः प्रभवति तरीयां सम्पांशु तव चरणपङ्केरुहभं विरिञ्चिति सञ्चिल्वा विरचयति लोकान् अविकलम् तगत्येनं शौरिः कथमपि सहस्रेण शिरसा हरक संक्षुब्धेन भजति भसितोद्धूलन विधिम् अविद्यानाम् अन्तस्तिमिरमिहिरद्वीपनगरे जडानां चैतन्यस्तवक मकरन्दश्रुतिझरे दरिद्राणां चिन्तामणिगुणनिका जन्मजलधौ निमग्नानां दंष्ट्रा मुररिपुवराकस्य भवति पदन्यकपाणिभ्य अभयवरद दैवतगणक त्वमेकानैवासे प्रकटितवराधीत्यभिनया भयात् त्रातुं फलमपि च वाञ्छासमधिकं शरण्ये लोकानां तव हि चरणावेव निपुणो हरिस्त्वामाराध्य प्रणतजनसौभाग्यजननी पुराणानि भूत्वा पुररिपुमपि क्षोभमनयत् स्म गोपि त्वां नत्वा प्रतिनयनलेखेन वपुषा मुनीनाम् अप्यन्तक प्रभवतिः मोहाय मगधा धनुपौष्टुं मौर्वे मधुकरमयी पञ्चविशिखाद वसन्तक सामन्तक मलय मरुतु आयोधनरखः तथाप्येकः सर्वं किमगिरिसुते कामपि कृतम् अपाङ्गते लब्ध्वा जगदिदमनं बाला विजयते वणक्काञ्चीधामा करिकलभकुम्भस्तननता परीक्षीणा मध्ये परिणतशरश्चन्द्रवदना धनुकाणां पाशं श्रुणिमपि दधाना करतलैः पुरस्तातु आस्तानग पुरमथितुः आवो पुरुषिका सुधासिन्धोर्मध्ये सुरभिटपिवाटी परिवृते मणिद्वीपे नीपोपवनवती चिन्तामणिगृहे शिवाकारे मञ्चे भजन्ति त्वां धन्याः कतिचन चिदानन्दनगरी महीमूलाधारे कमपि मणिपूरे हुतवहं स्थितं स्वाधिष्ठाने हृदि मरुदमाकाशमुपरि मनोऽपि भ्रूमध्ये सकलमपि भित्त्वा कुलपथम् सहस्रारे पद्मे सकलकसि पद्यादिहरसे सुधाधारासारैः चरणयुगलां तद्विगलितैः प्रपञ्चं सिञ्चन्ति पुनरपि रसाम्नाय मनसः अवाप्य स्वां भूमिं भुजगनिभम् अदृष्टवरयो स्वमात्मानं कृत्वा स्वविशिकुलकुण्डे कुकर्णी चतुर्भिः श्रीकण्ठैः शिवयुवतिभिः पञ्चभिरपि प्रभिन्नाभिः शम्भोः नवभिरपि मूलप्रकृतिभिः चतुश्चत्वारिंशत् वसुतलकलाशतृदलय त्रिरेखाभिः सार्धं तव चरणकोलागपरिणताः त्वदीयं सौन्दर्यं दुहितगिरिकन्ये तुलयितुम् कवीन्द्राय कल्पन्त कथनविरचित्रहृदयः यथा लोकौ सुख्यात् अमरललनायान्ति मनसा तपोभिः पुष्पापामपि गिरिससायुज्य पदवे नरं पश्येयांसं नयनविरसं नत्मसुदृढम् तव पाङ्गालोके पतितम् अनुधावन्ति शतशत जलत्वेणी बन्धाः कुचकलश विस्त्रस्तशिखया हठात् त्रुट्यकाञ्चयः विगलितदुकूलाः युवतयः चितौ षट्पञ्चाशद्विसमधिक पञ्चाशदुदके उदासे द्वाषष्टिः चतुरधिक पञ्चाशदनिले दिवि द्विषत्रिंशत् मनसि च चतुः षष्टिरिति मयूखाय केषामभ्युपरि तव पादाम्बुजयुगम् शरज्योत्स्ना शुद्धां शशियुत जटाजूटमकुटां वरत्रासत्राण स्फटिका घटिका पुस्तककरा सकृन्नत्वा नत्वा कथमिव सदां सन्निदधते मधुक्षीरद्राक्ष मधुरि मधुरीणाक पणित्रयः रवीन्द्राणां चेतक कमलवनबालकपकुचम् भजन्ते ये सन्तत कतिचित् अरुणामेव भवति विरिञ्चित् प्रेयस्याः तरुणतर शृङ्गारनगरी गभीराभिः वाग्भिः विदधति सदा सवित्रीभिर्वाचां शशिमणिशिलाभङ्गरुचिः वशिन्यात्याभिः त्वां सगजननि सञ्चिन्तयति यः सकर्ता काम्यानां भवति महतां भङ्गिरुचिभिः वचोभिः वाग्देवी वदन कमलामोदमधुरैः तनुच्छायादिस्ते तरुणधरणिषी सरणिभिः इवं सर्वां पूर्वी अरुणिमणिमग्ना स्मरति भवन्तस्य त्रस्य त्वनहरिणशालीननयनाथा सगोरस्यावस्याव कपिगतिनगीर्वाण गणिका मुखं बिन्दुं कृत्वा भुजयुगम् अधस्तस्य ददतो हरार्धं ध्यायेत्यथ हरमहिषिते मन्मथकया ससत्यकसंक्षोभं नयति वनितागित्यति लघु त्रिलोकीमप्याशु भ्रमयति रवीन्दुस्तनयुगा किरन्ति मन्ये यज्ञः किरणनिकुरुम्बामृतरसं हृदि त्वामाधत्ते हिमकरशिला मूर्तिमिवयः ससर्वाणां तत्त्वं शमयति शकुन्तलाधिपैव वरपृष्ठां दृष्ट्या सुखवति सुधाधार शिरया तटे लेखातन्वीं तपनशशिवैश्वानरमयीं षण्णां षण्णामप्युपरि कमलानां तव कलां महापद्माटव्यां मृदुतमलमायेन मनसा महां तद पश्यन्तो दधति परमानन्दलहरी भवानि त्वल्दासे मयिकर दृष्टिं सकरुणया इति स्तोतुं वाञ्छं कथयति भवानि त्वम् इति यः तदैव त्वं तस्मै दिशसि निजसायुज्य पदवीम् मुकुन्द ब्रह्मेन्द्र स्फुटमपुट नीराडितपदा त्वया कृत्वा वामं वपु अपरितृप्तेन मनसा शरीरार्थं शम्भोः अपरमपि शङ्के कृतमभूत् यदेतत् त्वद्रूपं सकलमरुडाभं त्रिनयनम् कुचाभ्याम् आनन्दं कुटिलशशि चूडालवपुटम् जगत्सूते धाता हरिदवति रुद्रकक्षपयते तिरस्कुर्वाणेतत् स्वमपि वपुरीशस्त्रयति सदा भूपत सर्वं ददितम् अनुगृह्णं नाति च शिवः तवाज्ञाम् आलम्ब्य क्षणचरितयोः भ्रूलटिकयोः त्रयाणां देवानां त्रिगुणजनितानां तव शिवे भवेत् पूजा पूजा तव चरणयोर्या विरचिता तथा हि त्वत्पादोद्वहन मणिपीठस्य निकटे स्थिता ह्येते शश्वत्मुकुलितकरोक्तं समकुटाः विरिञ्चिति पञ्चत्वं व्रजति हरिराप्नोति विरतिं विनाशं कीनाशक भजति धनदो याति निधनम् वितन्द्री वाकेन्द्री विततिरपि संवीलितदृशा महासंहारेषु विहरति सति तत्पतिरसो जपो जल्पः शिल्पं सकलमविमुद्रा विरचना गतिः प्रादक्षिण्यक्रमणम् अशनात्याहुतिविधिः प्रणामः संकेशः सुखमखिलम् आत्मार्पणदृशा सपर्यापर्यायस्तव भवतु यन्मे विलसितम् सुधामपि आस्वाद्य प्रतिद्वयजरा मृत्युधरिणी विपद्यन्ते विश्वे विधिशतमकाध्यातिविशतः करालयश्वेन कदलितवतः कालकलः न शम्भोः तन्मूलं तव जननि काटं कर्महिमा कीटं वैरिञ्चं परिहरपुरः कैटभवितः कठोरे कोटीरे स्थलसि जहे जम्बारिमकुटौ प्रणम्येष्वेतेषु प्रसभमुपयातस्य भवनम् भवस्यात्युत्थाने तव परिजनोक्तिः विजयते स्वदेहोद्भूताभिः वृणिभिः अणिमात्याभिः अधिपगाय निषेव्ये नित्ये वावहमिति सदा भावयति किमाश्चर्यं तस्य त्रिनयनसंवृत्तिं हृदयतो महासंवर्गाग्निः विरचयति नीराजनविद्युम् चतुष्षष्ट्या तन्त्रैः सकलं मतिसन्धाय भुवनो स्थितः तत्तत्सिद्धिप्रसवपरतन्त्रैः पशुपतेः पुनः त्वं निर्बन्धात् अखिलपुरुषार्थैकघटना स्वतन्त्रं ते तन्त्रं क्षितितलम् अवातीतरदिदम् शिवः शक्तिः कामः क्षितिरथ प्रविशीतकिरणः स्वरोगं सच्चक्रः तदनुज परामारहरयः अमीकैकाभिः तिसृभिः अवसानेषु घटिता भजन्ते वर्णास्ते तव जननी नामावयवता स्मरं योनिं लक्ष्मीं हृदयमिदमादौ तव मनो निधायैके नित्ये निरवधि महाभोगरसिकाग भजन्ति त्वां चिन्तामणिगुण निबद्धाक्षवलयाग शिवाग्नौ जुह्वन्तः सुरभिकृत धारापुतिशते शरीरं पुंसं भोग शशिविधिरवक्षोरुगयुगम् तवात्मानं मन्ये भगवति नवात्मानमनघम् अतः शेषक शेषित्ययम् उभयसाधारणतया स्थितः सम्बन्धो समरसपरानन्दपरयोः मनत्वं व्योमत्वं मरुदसि मरुत्सारथिरसि त्वमापहत्वं भूमिः त्वयि परिणतायां नदि परं त्वमेव स्वात्मा परिणमयितुं विश्ववपुषा चिदानन्दाकारं शिवयुवती भावेन विव चक्रस्थम् तपनशशिकोटिधृतिधरम् परं शम्भुं वन्दे परिमिलितपार्श्वं परचिता यमारात्यं भक्त्या प्रविशसि सुशीलामभिषये गिरालोके आलोके निवसति भालोकभुवने विशुद्धोक्ते शुद्धस्फटिकविशदं व्योमजनकम् शिवसेवे देवीमपि शिवसमानव्यवसिता ययोक्तान्त्यायां त्याग शशिकिरणसारुप्यशरीरे विधूतान्तत्वान्त विलसति चकोरीव जगति समुन्मीलत्संवित् कमलमकरन्दैकरसिकम् भजेऽहं सत्त्वं त्वं किमपि महता मानसचरम् यदा अष्टादशगुणित विद्या परिणतिः यदा दत्ते दोषात् गुणम् अखिलम् अभ्यः कयैव तव स्वाधिष्ठाने उतवकम् अधिष्ठाय निरतम् तमीले संवत्तं जननि महितीं तां च समया यदा लोके लोकान् दहति महसि क्रोधकलिते दयाद्राया दृष्टिः शिशिरम् उपचारम् प्रजयति तटित्वं तं शक्त्या तिमिरपरिपन्थिस्फुरणया स्फुरन्नाना रत्नाभरण परिणद्धेन्द्रधनुषम् तव श्याममेघं कमपि मणिपूरैक चरणम् निषेवे वर्षन्तं हरनिरतप्तं त्रिभुवनम् तवाधारे मूले सकसमयया लास्य परया नवात्मानं मन्ये नवरसमुखाकाण्डवनटम् उभाभ्यां वेदाभ्याम् उदयविधिम् उद्दिश्य दयया सदाभ्यां जज्ञे जनक जननीवत जगदितो यतैर्वाणिज्यत्वं गगनमणिभिः सान्द्रघटितं किरीटं ते कैमम् इव गिरिसुते कीर्तयति यग सनीडे यच्छायच्छूरणशबलं चन्द्रशकलम् धनुषौणासीरं किमिति न निभद्राति धिषणाम् धुनोतुध्वान्तं नग स्तुलितदलितेन्दीवरवनम् घनस्निग्धस्य क्षणम् चिकुरनिकुरुम्बं तव शिवे यदीयं सौरभ्यं सहजम् उपलब्धुं सुमनसः वसन्ति यस्मिन् मन्ये वनमथनवाटी विटपिनाम् अनोतु क्षेमं नग तव वदन सौन्दर्यलहरी परिवाहस्रोतकस् सरणिरिव सीमन्तसरणीति वदन्ति सिन्दूरम् प्रबलकबरी भारतिविर द्विषां वृन्दैति बन्दी कृतमिव नदीनाग किरणम् हरालैः स्वाभावयात् अलिकलभश्रीभिः अलकैः परितं ते वक्त्रं परिहसति पङ्केरुहरुचि तरस्मे वेगस्मिन् दशनरुचि किञ्जल्करुचिरे सुगन्धौ माद्यन्ति स्वरदगनचक्षुः मधुलिहः ललाटं लावण्यद्युतिविमलम् आभाति तव यत् द्वितीयं तन्मन्ये मकुटघटितं चन्द्रशकलम् विपर्यासन्यासात् उभयमपि सम्भूय च वितकालात् सुधालेपस्यूतिः परिणमति रागाढ्यमकरग धूपौ भुक्ते किञ्चित् भुवनभयभङ्गव्यसनिनि प्रदीये नेत्राभ्यां मधुकररुचिभ्यां धृतगुणम् धनुर्मन्ये सव्यहितरकरगृहीतं प्रतिपदे प्रकोष्ठे मुष्टौ च स्थगयति निगूढान्तरं भुवे अधः सूते सव्यं तव नयनम् अर्कात्मकतया प्रियामां वामन्ते सृजति रजनीनायकतया तृतीया ते दृष्टिः दरदरितहेमाम्बुजरुचिः समाधत्ते सन्ध्यां दिवस दिशयो अन्तरचरी विशाला कल्याणी स्फुटरुचिः अयोध्या कुवलयैः कृपाधाराधार हिमरिमधुरा आभोगवतिका अवन्ति दृष्टिस्ते बहुनगरविस्तारविजय ध्रुवं तत्तं नाम व्यवहरणयोग्य विजयते कवीनां सन्दर्भस्तपद मकरन्दैकरसिकम् कटाक्ष व्याक्षेपभ्रमर कलभो अमुचता दृष्ट्वा तव नवरस आस्वादतरलो असूया शिवे शृङ्गारार्द्रा तदितरचने कुत्सनपरा सरोषा गङ्गायां गिरिशनयने विस्मयवती हराहिभ्यो भीता सरसिरुगसौभाग्यजननी सखीषु स्मेराते मयि जननि दृष्टिः सकरुणा गते कर्णाभ्यर्गं गरुत इव पक्ष्माणि दधते पुराभयतुः चित्तप्रशमरस विद्रावणफले इमे नेत्रे गोत्राधरपति कुलोत्तंस कलिगे तव कर्णाकृष्टस्मरशर विलासं कलयतः
So first question for today. Oh wow, James is also around. Welcome, James.
Hi,
Oh.
thank you. Thank you. Hi.
All right. Happy Navratri. And the first question for everybody is: does anybody know the story of
Hmm.
Something with the sound?
So the story goes like this, okay? Yeah, yeah.
Preetya can't hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Now it's good.
Yeah. I was asking Giant Founder Larry.
Mhm.
I can't hear you. The voice is breaking up.
Am I audible?
Semi, you know. Sometimes I can hear you, sometimes.
Okay. So the first question is: do we know the story? Do we know the story? Anybody knows the story behind the Sounder Larry?
Well,
No.
please tell us.
So the story
There is
goes
always something you don't know, you know? When somebody asks, oh, do you know this? When you say, I know, this moment, you are ignorant because there is always something new, something, you don't know. So tell us, please.
awesome. So the story goes like this, okay? Adi Shankaracharya was a big devotee of Shiva and Shakti. And looking at the devotion, Shiva grants him this verses of that defines, the beauty of Mother Divine. And he grants him these verses, and on his way back, Nandi, who is the vehicle of Shiva, just gets very, angry that how can somebody take such precious knowledge from here and go. So he kind of takes the book and tears it into two. And Adi Shankara is extremely distraught. And he goes to, Shiva and says, this is what has happened. So he said, doesn't matter. Keep the first 43 verses with you and write the next, the next verses. There are 101 verses of Soundarya Lahari. Write it on your own. So today we are going to discuss something that is so ancient, that is given by Shiva himself. On that note, I would like to ask this question to all three of you actually. Here, the Devi is defined as a non-dual representation of Shakti and Shiva, meaning in Saundarya Lahari, the Devi or the Mother Divine is adorned both as Shiva as well as Shakti. So, would you like to share your views? Maybe we can start with James. James, what do you think about it?
What do I think about the Devi being non-dual in this case? I mean, I guess the only thing that comes to mind is when she's non-dual, she's everywhere, and I guess in like the sense of Prakriti and Purusha or Shiva and Shakti, then in that sense it's dual and there's like a separate force. But in this sense, if it's non-dual, then it's like seeing the Devis everywhere in like the space as any person or anything. So yeah.
Yeah, Vera.
Okay, you want me to say that? Well, talking about the Devi, today worshipped in both forms like Shakti and Shiva. Well, because first of all, if there is no Shakti without Shiva, and there is no Shiva without Shakti, so it's the same as we talk. Let's say physical body, emotional body, this body, but this division is sort of, it just exists for us to understand it more, in mental categories. But actually, it's it's not exactly that. When we start to talk about the spiritual matters, there's something subtle. So then, for us as humans to understand it, we have to name it, categorize it, and say this is Shiva, this is Shakti, and this is feminine, this is masculine, and once they met, and so the whole being is created. But and for us, there's a beginning, there is the end. For humans, there's always two. Right? But in reality is one. So this this chant, it brings you so deep within yourself. So it's even in every human, whoever we are, men or women, we have both present, feminine and masculine energies, right? And the same like on a physical level, hormones and stuff, right? So we identify ourselves as somebody. Yeah, I am woman, I am man, and that's why I behave like this. I do this and that, and so on and so on. Right? And yet, when you go very deep in meditation, you completely forget who you are. There is no gender, no age, no nationality, no name. It's just infinity. That is what I see. This unity.
So, just for me to understand the non-dual part, let's understand what's duality for us first. So, when we talk about the duality in a human being, we have the intellect, which criticizes, which analyzes, which actually, it has the intellectual capacity to just say good and bad and right and wrong. Yeah. So, when we talk about the duality, it's just about doing something which is of the mind. Yeah. And when we talk about non-duality, that is something of your soul. So the Shiva and Shakti are the ones who are there within you, yeah, in the form of dualness as well as non-dualness. Now when we understand that the Shiva and Shakti can only happen when we go from the duality, when we experience each level of our existence, and then we later realize that, oh, there is something beyond this. And then beautifully, it's a very beautiful transition from the dualness, from all levels of your existence to the non-duality, where you understand, oh, this is nothing but you yourself. The self is the Shiva and the Shakti, which completely has different manifestations at different times. So for me, if I had to explain this non-dual nature of Shiva and Shakti, is when I have, actually transcended the dualness. Yeah. So I think it takes time, and it's a process, and it takes lifetimes, for people to even just cross even one level of their existence. And we have, like Guruji always teaches us, like we have 7 levels in our existence, right? So the first is just your gross body. So the moment first you understand through the body that you have, the duality, yeah, then you have the senses, which again gives you a different nature. And then you have, when you have experienced everything and you're like tired, like Guruji says, right? Just rest. And when you're resting, actually, that's when you understand, oh, there's nothing but, that non-dualness. Everything is one. Everything is that energy. Everything is that Shiva and Shakti. I am not the doer. That's where you start thinking about the non-dual aspect of Shiva and Shakti. But I'm telling you, from my experience, it's again an experience to go through the dualness to come to that non-duality aspect. Yeah. And it's beautiful. Both are beautiful.
Yeah. I'm really liking all the 3 answers, whether coming in as space or as Vera and Shruti very beautifully said about from dualness to non-dualness. Something which is very, very beautiful are the other 2 questions. So in Saundarya Lahari, Adi Shankara defines Devi as Tripura Sundari, meaning what? She has the power of will, she has the power, she is the power holder, as well as she has the power of being. And it is one of the verses said that with the dust from her lotus feet, Brahma is able to create this beautiful beautiful universe. Vishnu in the form of Adishesha has the capacity to bear it with lots of effort, and Shiva actually converts it back into the ashes and besmears it on his whole body at the time of dissolution. I just was stunned when I heard this out. So what is your opinion that she is the generator and the operator and the destroyer? She's the energy behind God. That's what is in totality being described here. So 2 questions. We'll start with James first. James, what do you think about it?
That's amazing. I've never heard that. That's powerful. Like when the one demon Maheshwara took over, like I think one of the gods or devas told Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, and they got so angry that they created Durga out of their forehead, out of their third eye. So I mean that makes sense now that what you're saying, like when Brahma would create the universe, the whole creation out of the dust, and same with Shiva, kind of using that same type of energy, the transformation energy, like on smearing. So it's kind of connecting all 3 of those: the Brahma, like creation energy, like the creation in the universe, and then the Vishnu, which is preserving and maintaining the world, and Shiva, which is kind of transformation and like more like not really destruction, but like I guess transformational energy, or kind of can be associated with death as well. But I think it's beautiful how, like, I've heard that the Devi has all 3 energies, right? So it's very, very powerful to have all 3 present there.
Yeah, Vera.
Okay, 1 minute. Well, first, we start from that beginning when you mentioned that the Devi is the power of the will. Yeah, because today we are, I believe, in Manipura chakra. Yeah, this is actually our manifestation in this material world, and this is actually where the power of the will is very important. whatever you want to achieve on a spiritual level or material level, you just need to have discipline. You need to have a power of will to go towards what you want to achieve. Because if you will be just sitting and saying, "Oh, I want this, but then nothing happens," you know. So with yesterday we were talking about the brahmachari. It's like conserving the energy, concentrating it. Yeah. So then it goes higher. It becomes your willpower. Right. The more energy you have, the more you can achieve, and and so it goes. And getting to the second subject of our discussion, about the Devi being the energy, the Shakti, the power behind all three aspects of the this universe, yeah, in the form of the destruction presented as Shiva, or Vishnu as the one who supports and cares, and Brahma, the one who creates. Well, as we used to say before, Shakti is a potential energy, and potential means everything, whatever can, right? And you see, it's like you have a water, right? And the water can be in a form of ice, as you heard probably in Bhakti Sutras. Guruji used to use this analogy, to say that it can be in the form of water, it can be in the form of vapor, it can be in the form of ice, and can be in the form of snow, or and that's all the same, yeah. And yet all of these substances can be used differently, it can be used differently. Yeah? If you have a sore muscle, you will put the ice there, right? You won't just put hot water there, right? Or if you're making a tea, you don't put the snow there. Well, everything is just right, chosen, perfect direction, and yet they're all powered by the same by electricity. It can make the television work, it can make the whatever, the grass cutter, or even electric cars now available, so many things, and yet there is one behind all of this. So the energy is just changing in the forms, in the manifestations, in the actions, and it constantly goes on. It was even physics. They say that there is the theorem or something about that energy never disappears. It just always transforms. So this is how you have this cycle of Brahma creates, and then it exists. Like a flower. It just has this cycle of, it just goes, blossoms, and then it just sort of dies, yeah. And Shiva, as a sort of final touch, this is not really the destruction, but it's something just to like clean up the space for something new. Yeah. So that's how I would explain that. Thanks. I'd like to see what you say here.
So, for me also, it's like, if I have to really understand, I'll just connect it to the subtle channel that we have in our body. Yeah. So when we talk about Manipura chakra, the Manipura chakra is actually consisting of three devis. Okay. That's your Mahalakshmi, Mahasaraswati, and so that is the stan of your three devis. Okay. So when we talk about the will, that's like what exactly Vera has said. These three devis and the Shakti power with knowledge, wisdom, and they are the ones who actually take care of the septal system also. If you have ever heard of the Pingala Nadi, yeah, that actually goes from your third eye that is your Agya chakra, to your Navi chakra. Yeah, that is exactly your connecting point. If you have ever heard about the three subtle channels that you have in your body, so one of that is your Pingla Nadi, which is completely connected from your and which comes on the left side. So exactly why it is said, when all three devis, they are the operator, generator, and the destroyer, because the Mahasaraswati, Mahakali, and the Mahalakshmi is seated there. So the moment the Mahakali comes up to this, there is a transformation that you can see amongst people when they are around you. So you will also see that, scientifically it is always proved that energy cannot be created nor be destroyed. Yeah. So what happens to the energy? What happens to the energy? Yeah, the energy just transforms. Yeah, for a human mind, it perceives as destroying and creating. Whereas for energy, it only expands and transforms. That's it. Nothing else happens. We have to, when we think about these understanding of energies, we also have to have a very scientific backup of what happens to these energies, where do these energies go, and how are they operated. So if you really go more deep in the Saundarya Lahari, you will just understand how beautiful these scriptures tell us about the destruction of the mind. When we talk over here, it's all destroying the mind, the concepts, the limited ideas that we have, the conditioning that we have made in our life for so many years. When we talk, that is what we refer to when we talk about destroying. Yeah. So basically, when it comes to your Agya chakra, you will only see Shiva in a transforming form. Yeah. So that is my understanding. That's where the will and the creation happens. Rita, you can drop in your understanding as well.
Just coming in so beautifully. I'm personally very, very glad that three of the most beloved ones of mine, and so I have seen all of these three people as being perfect yogis, and I feel they are the apt people to answer these questions. I'm just in bliss. Moving on to the next two questions, okay? Here again, I really, when I was listening to Saundarya Lahari, I was just telling Shruti in the morning that, only, Mother Divine has been kind, then all of us, four of us are on this platform discussing such an ancient and a revered text. So here, again, the glory of Mother Divine, Adi Shankara says that, just with the dust from the lotus feet of Mother Divine, can a very beautiful city be created. And how is this city? It looks, it's very, very luminous and radiant, that shuns the darkness or removes a veil of ignorance. And the second thing that is so beautiful that even Guruji said at the onset of Navratri is that, unlike other deities, your devotees, you don't need, if we see Mother Divine, you will never see her like with, some gestures when she is granting us some desires, our desires by certain gestures of our hands. Because, only her presence, it is said, that is powerful enough to protect the devotees from the grip of fear, and always grants more than what is desired by her devotees. Such is the compassion of the mother. So I would like all three of you to touch base upon maybe, your experiences of, how have you felt your compassion, or what do you mean, or you understand when you say that, just by praying to her, or just by remembering her, all our wishes get fulfilled, all the ignorance in life goes away. So those are the two questions. We can start with James. Yeah, James.
It's kind of like how a mother loves the child, right? It's like the mother has no choice but to love the child and give gifts and kind of fulfill the desires of the food and sleep and all these things. So likewise, the Mother Divine will like always be there and care for us because she has no choice. She's like, if the baby is sad, then why not take care of the child, right? Um, so there's really no choice, and it's a really beautiful relationship. Um, and also, the Mother Divine is like also someone that we come to for knowledge. Like I've heard like if we want to learn something new, then we come to the goddess of the Mother Divine and gain new knowledge. And she's also the seat for compassion within us. So, and I would say like the Mother Divine or goddess or something is not someone outside of us. It's someone deep or some Mother Divine is deep within us, you know, just kind of waiting for that realization to happen within us. And it's kind of like Shruti was saying with the chakras. It's kind of like going with acknowledging that certain energy and that life force within us, and kind of just empowering that force and flowing with that. So yeah.
Vera,
You can go,
what is
Vera.
your opinion? Yeah.
Okay. Well, that has been with you. You know, just referring a bit back to the previous thing, what you just mentioned about the fact that Brahma have created, you know, the creation from the dust from the lotus feet. Yeah, this is beautiful. And what is it? What does it mean for me? Is just shows the infinite potential of the Mother Divine, right? And when we talk about that she can fulfill all your desires, it shows how little are your desires or everything what you need, and how powerful, how infinite she is. Yeah, if just the dust from her lotus face is enough to create the city with everything and stuff. And if we talk about any scientific achievements or technologies or anything, what humanity has at the moment, it sort of it doesn't really feel like we created that. It's just at some point it's like opens up and it just comes to the world, right? So and you can see, you can feel it, like there is a much more, to progress, right? So it's like basically like the mother is giving the new knowledge, new opening for the child, the world, showing this and that, and look, there is something else. And so it's like infinity filled with the infinite love, and all you need is just to get knowledge and to be ready to wonder how, like, wow, this creation it's amazing. There is so much to it, and what we know, what we want, what we experience is just so little. So that's my understanding.
So
Yeah.
when you talk about,
Yeah, it's so beautiful. I really liked when you said so much, is there and so little that we know. Like, yeah, Shruti.
so even that we are talking about Chandraghanta today, just wanted to bring. She's also, actually we are acknowledge her in the form of awareness. Also, when you talk about, just Mother Divine, you see the earth itself has infinite opportunities and possibilities. The way she takes all of us in that, complete oneness. There are so many things growing on this planet. The earth itself is the Mother Divine. Yeah. So when we talk about, Mother Divine being very compassionate, very loving, it's like she accommodates each and every one, whether good, bad. I mean, the nature doesn't have good and bad. It's just the mind that has it. So that's exactly what divinity is all about. It's all encompassing. Yeah, it's all accommodating. It's all compassionate. So is the Mother Divine. I mean, in the form of earth, or maybe anything, any aspect of nurturing actually comes from her. If you see a lot of people who have that aspect of nurturing, comes from the Manipura chakra, right? Generous. That's why they are called to be generous, because they can be like a mother who's just giving and giving and giving, and just can be so unconditional, not counting on, oh, hey, I gave you this last time, you give me this, now I give you this. So the moment in you you know, the moment in you. I always say this you because I never see it outside of us. You know, the human body has so much potential to have this uh, awakening inside themselves. Each one of us, we are so capable. It's just that we don't know which lifetime it is going to happen. But then the progress on the path actually helps us, you know, to at least be a better human the next birth. Yeah, if not this, maybe next birth. So when you talk about the blossoming of the Manipura chakra, you know, so the moment this chakra blossoms, you will see that people are extremely generous. The mother feeling just comes to them. Yeah, it's like the mother divine inside them. Yeah, so that is the importance of you know, just the Devi in that form of you know, awareness, awakening, and generosity for all of us.
Just coming out so beautifully. I can't explain it to you guys. And we'll close with two questions, okay? Again, you know, yesterday when Shruti was giving an example that without, you know, they laid a dead body called Shava, right? And when it came in contact with the energy, it became Shiva. So it is said that, you know, Mother Divine is the pride of Shiva, and she is the manifestation of Shiva as a presence before all of us. This is this is so beautiful. Like the masculine energy in each one of us needs the feminine energy as a substratum for it to go up. And the second thing is, you know, fortunate are those few who worship thee as the inundation of blissful consciousness that is reclining as a mattress on a mattress that is Paramashiva. So this is so beautiful that this undying, ever blossomed consciousness is actually reclining on Paramashiva, which is like a witness consciousness. So we have heard this so many times, but when somebody kind of adorns the beauty like this, it just becomes, you know, it just goes to the next level. So two questions to you, you know, what do you understand when we say that this Devi is the manifestation of Shiva herself, and Shiva takes her support to function in this universe? That is one. And you know, what do you understand when you say this undying energy is actually reclining? She's like leaning, taking the support on the ultimate, like the penultimate, that is Paramashiva, or the Shiva, or the, you know, the eternal consciousness itself. So you know, I'll first take it with Vera. Vera, you want to go first?
Okay, I know. Well, first, if we take the subject of Shiva as a sort of manifestation, and you know, the manifestation itself powered by Shakti. So it's the, you know, you can compare it with you know, idea, yeah, which comes up in your mind, something, whatever I want to create, and you need to have the energy to do that, right? So, and the potential, you know, like let's say you want to start business, yeah, but if you don't have a capital, you need to go to the bank and get the loan, you know, for starting the business. So and the same, you know, let's say we have the idea of Shiva, or manifestation, and you can see, you can visualize it, and yet there need to be a power, like, you know, to you know, make it move, make it just, you know, like explosion, right? And yet this is also again, as we say, is a duality, because we use this concept to sort of make it more understandable for us. Yet, like, there is a two, but yet there is one. They are connected with this this consciousness which has no beginning and no end, and it's just witnessing constantly. And again, and behind this, it's like the Brahman is a consciousness where like everything what could exist and couldn't exist, everything what you could even think about or even don't, it's beyond our thinking, and yet it's there. And yet, if there is nobody to witness, for what's the purpose of that, So for that consciousness to look at, to manifest it, and to actually have somebody to see and appreciate that and say, wow, this is wonderful. And it's like, a dream or a game. Yeah. So, and it's like, oh, it's all me. It's all inside me, like when you just like wake up from the dream, yeah, where you have been somebody empowered with somebody, just this and that, and like deities, they have the Shakti. Each deity, if you talk about like Ashtamatrikas, the 8 mothers of the world, yeah, they all have the Shakti, because without this energy, you wouldn't do it. If you remember Varadev, Narasimha, they all have their Shakti. They all avatars of Vishnu, and they have the special type of Shakti, special type of energy to make this particular thing happen, what they have to do, what they have to play in this game. So, Shruti, James, please add.
I just want to add, yesterday there was a question of Ashtama Siddhi. Now I understand, like the way you said, like 8 avatars of Vishnu would have had their corresponding divine femininity as well. So thank you, Vera. Thank you.
There is more avatars, and there is more avatars, but like everyone has Shakti, and
beautiful. Shruti, would you like to take this question?
Please.
It's very beautifully answered by Vera. Very, very beautifully. She has just summarized the whole thing for us. But let me just end up with, just telling this one thing. Yes, we are very fortunate, even on being on this path, having a master is like, the master helps you yourself to witness this growth, from where you have started and how you were and how you have slowly started progressing. In fact, I've heard Guruji always talking about the seer and the scenery, and it's absolutely the same thing. He always tells us to see it like a play that's happening, and go to that bhav and understand and witness that, and the moment he says, when you have to do action, come into that consciousness where you're doing a lot of action. So he says you are the seer as well as the scenery. There is nobody else. So whoever is there in any of these paths, we are very, very fortunate that we have had people, or we have had this masters who have come down again and again. Like, I think Godpada was the one who gave this entire thing to Adi Shankaracharya. The Saundarya Lahari, it's divided into 2 verses. The first 41 verses, and then you have the second 59 verses. So I think the divine himself actually gave this to even Adi Shankaracharya. So, we have kept having so many masters who have come again and again to share this knowledge. And at this point of time in life, we have Sri Ravi Shankar. And he's been giving this knowledge so openly to everyone, and its value is worth the lifetime, actually, of whatever you're going to do. Yeah. So I mean, the only, these if you go to discuss this knowledge, is very deep. He's like capsuled it in like just 20 minutes for all of us, and he says, just do this, that's it. Yeah. So that's how easy life has become, even to understand such deeper knowledge. So yes, I just want to say we are very, very fortunate to have him. And I'm sure everyone who's watching this, if you have ever been in his presence, you will know how fortunate it is to have a master who makes you witness who you are, who you were, and who you are going to be. Yeah, so I think that is grace. And this Navratri, it's a special Navratri post the in the COVID situation, where times have made us reflect on ourselves, like where are we going, losing jobs, losing people, people being too ambitious about living life, everybody, it's like a step back in life. And just the mother has given you a chance, an opportunity, a possibility to think the other way, like. And she's also made each one of us realize that you are not the doers, guys. Stop. I can be so powerful than all of you, all the human minds in this. And she has always, in the whole circumstances, I think she has led us to this uncertainty in life, which you need to always respect. uh, so when the human mind keeps thinking, oh, it's me, it's me, it's me, then please put a full stop and just feel fortunate. It's not you, it's the divine possibly doing everything. So the doership drops and the divinity in you blossoms. And during this Navratri, let this divinity in you blossom. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. James, what would you like to, I would also like to hear from you. What is your view on this dance between the manifest and the unmanifest, that is the Shakti and the Shiva?
Yeah, so beautiful said by Shruti and Veros. Really nice answers. I was just gonna add on to the non-doership, like that the state of like surrender is not like an act or anything. It's just like our deep state of our nature, right? So we're kind of just letting go and being effortless in what we do, and that's kind of like yoga is too. It's just being like effortless and having that union of the body, mind, and breath through what we do. And if there's struggle, that means like we're coming into the doership. So just letting go is important. And as for Shiva and Shakti, I would say like Shiva is like one of the elements of in the creation. So everything has to stem from something. So if there's like a dynamic energy that's outward going, then that also has a source too, right? So Shiva would be that source of energy, which is the pure consciousness, pure space. And when I think of Shiva, like I just feel like an innocence, right? He's just so like really compassionate, just like all pervading. And that's like also the source of where like Mother Divine comes from, that innocence, that compassion that flows through her.
Awesome, awesome. I just loved all three of your interpretations about Saundarya Lahiri, and I would personally, on behalf of everybody, wish to thank the Mother Divine for allowing us this platform. And I'd like to hold my ears in case we have made any mistakes. It was just a beautiful topic. Shruti, would you like to conclude?
So that's what I feel, that Saundarya Lahiri is a very rhythmic poem. Also, being on the day third of of the Navratri, where we are celebrating Devi Chandraghanta, and also on the chakra level, we are at the Manipura already. So gently, you will see the energy rise up from the coming days. So feel the bliss wherever you are. Keep praying, keep surrendering, and start witnessing, being the witness of all that is happening around you. So stay safe, and good night to each one. See you tomorrow, same time, with another set of theme that we would discuss. Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev.
Thank you everyone for coming. See you.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
Thank you.
you.